Singer House is a group home owned by LADACIN Network. The house is located in Lakewood, New Jersey, and is home to 6 young ladies with developmental disabilities. The ladies are taken care of by 8 full-time DSPs and 3 substitute DSPs. These direct support professionals take care of them 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. COVID-19 has brought trials and tribulations to the entire world. This is the story of one group home's battle and triumph in the midst of the COVID outbreak.
My name is Judy Cruz. I have been with LADACIN Network for 22 years and I am the residential coordinator.
My name is Ariane Domingue. I work for LADACIN 9 years.
Hello, my name is Richard Hudson and I've been employed with LADACIN for 5 years.
Hi, my name's Karen Walsh and I've been at LADACIN for almost 2.5 years.
Dave Weiskopf, and I've been with LADACIN, this November will be 2 years.
My name is Maria Santos, and I've been with LADACIN for 14 years.
Hi, I'm Jasana Campbell. I've been with LADACIN for 4 years.
I'm Ernest Boatwright. I've been at LADACIN for 22 years.
Hi, my name is Jennifer, and I'm here today visiting my sister, Suzanne. Suzanne's lived at LADACIN and the Singer House since 2007, so almost 13 years now she's been at LADACIN.
I started with LADACIN Network in 1997 as a DSP. I started at the George Gray Apartments and moved over to the Singer House Group Home, where I became the assistant manager and then a manager. I returned back to the George Gray Apartments as a manager and was promoted to coordinator of residential services.
I'm a special education, I have my certification in special ed. I started at Lehman, working with the special education field, and I just fell in love with the students and the staff and the teamwork.
I was an EMT for 25 years and I like helping people. And I applied, I left another job and I applied here and I liked what I saw and thought it'd be a good fit.
This line of work is actually something that I experienced as a young kid. I watched my mom work from 7 to 3 to 3 to 11, taking care of people with special needs and people that couldn't do a lot by themselves. And there were times when she would allow me to see what type of work she did. And as I got older, I developed a passion for people, especially people with special needs. So I chose to allow that to become one of my careers that, that would help me as an individual as well.
I like caring for people. That's like the best thing ever.
I've always been in this field. I worked at nursing homes. I was a CNA. So this kind of came natural. And plus, when I worked in different facilities as a cook, seeing the residents and how they care for the residents, it also encouraged me to kind of get into this type of work also.
I enjoy working for LADACIN. It means a lot to me. I had a child who attended LADACIN, and I have my heart and soul into LADACIN because it's my pay it forward.
LADACIN has been great. Not only have I been able to take care of the clients, but I get to know them as individuals, from working from the day program to working at residential. You get to see them at home and how they operate, and you see them as a person, not just, a lot of people look at things as numbers, but when you see them, they're people just like we are, who live their daily lives, and, they get excited when we're around. We can interact with them and do things with them and show them that we appreciate them just like they appreciate us.
It's just a very, very rewarding job.
I started when I was 21, so it was straight out of high school, and now you felt like you were a family member, because if someone else came, are they going to take care of them the way you are?
LADACIN has been a godsend for our family. When she first moved in to LADACIN, she was in another setting first, which was we were very thankful for that placement. But then after a few months, an opening came up at Singer House, so Suzanne moved over here. And
I lived at Asbury Avenue, remember?
Before, yep, you did.
Remember?
Yes, and then
Asbury Avenue.
Then you moved to Singer House, right?
I didn't want to move again, but
But you did, and you've been here now for 12 years.
They're helping me do stuff I can't do.
Yes. They help you do all the stuff that you need help with, right?
Like with the bicycle.
You go on the bicycle for exercise. Yes. Singer House has been, like I said, a godsend for our family. All of Suzanne's needs are taken care of every day by amazing, amazing staff that are here working with her every day. Between Singer House and the program, which Suzanne loves going to, Monday to Friday. We couldn't have asked for more, really.
I love work here. I have a lot of jobs before, but take care of the girls is wonderful for me. I help. I like it.
On March 16th of 2020, we were hit with the pandemic of COVID. Singer House Group Home was on lockdown since March 16th. The staff at Singer House became positive with COVID. I knew what I was going to face then. I already knew and expected that our individuals were going to test positive. So I prepared myself mentally for the bad news. I'm a nurse, so I try to take all the knowledge and the skills that I have and put them together and take this on.
I had headaches, diarrhea, body pain.
I think mine was a little different than Jason's. I guess everybody's is different in a way, because I just had the headaches. Like whenever I basically stood up, I was lightheaded and dizzy, where it made you want to lay down and just lay in the bed.
Just wanted to stay in bed or sleep. That's it. And I couldn't really taste anything.
I had the temperature. I wasn't eating anything. I couldn't really eat anything. My taste buds were missing for about 2 days. And then I think after the 4th day, when I tested positive, that's the day I went to the hospital. And once they evaluated me, they realized that I had a severe case of pneumonia on top of the COVID. So they admitted me to the hospital, and I was there for 4 days. And then my taste buds came back after the 2nd day of being in the hospital. And then the hospital was great. I mean, the workers were good. Anytime I needed anything, constantly checking on me. I really didn't get that much sleep, but it felt good though. But other than that, yeah, it was good after the fact.
I was more scared than anything, and I was worried because I have a 4-year-old, and I was scared that he was going to get it. But thank God he didn't get it, and I just stayed out. But I wanted to come back to work.
I feel sick. And I have fever. And I come out of my room. And I'm not eating nothing. I'm still nervous. I wasn't feeling that great. My stomach was awful. I didn't eat very good, and I was so nervous.
How sick were you? How did you feel?
Not good. Not good. Itchy. My back was hurting me. My bottom was bothering me. Crying. My eye was crying and hurt. Coughing.
We decided to create a team to work this location and take care of the clients who were behind closed doors, quarantining. We had a team of 5 DSPs, including myself. We worked around the clock diligently, and we were able to provide the services that we needed to provide to the clients during that time.
I was here and staff started getting sick, and I remember driving home that night at like 10 o'clock at night, and Judy and I were talking the whole way. And she, just follow me, just follow my lead. I said, all right, I'm going to do this. This is something I'm going to do. This is a challenge. I'm going to take it on. I prayed a lot.
I pray every day for I'm good, for take care of the clients, because I know the clients need me. And it's sad, one by one, got sick, and I pray every day.
All the glory goes to God. I have to say that right up the front.
Immediately, I took action and had them tested, and they came back positive. Next day, I took the rest of the individuals that live here, and another one tested positive. So we had 3 positives and 3 negatives at the time.
Certainly I was nervous. Judy was very calm about it though, and very matter of fact. And I really thought she'd be negative. So I really wasn't terribly concerned about it. Of course, it was early days. We didn't really know what any of this meant. So, I gave it, I kept thinking about it until I got the next phone call from Judy.
And what was that phone call?
The phone call that I got was that Suzanne had tested positive. It was, again, early days, so we didn't know what that meant. She didn't have any symptoms, though. So here we were in lockdown mode. I hadn't seen her in about a month, I think, at this point, when this hit, or when she was tested. So after waiting out the couple days for the test results to come, and the fact that Suzanne was asymptomatic, the only way for me to talk to her, to see her, was through the phone. One thing about Suzanne is we can tell what's going on a lot by her voice. So when I did talk to her, she sounded perfectly normal. For Suzanne, she didn't sound like she had a cold. She didn't have any of the symptoms that we were really concerned with. She didn't sound tired. So, and I had Judy there telling, every step of the way, telling me what was going on.
What was the hardest part about working during that 2 weeks of COVID?
See the client sick. Yeah. When she's hear my voice, she smile. That's because when I have all clothes, all protect, she no recognize. When she hear my voice, she smiles, she's comfortable.
Did that scare you?
Absolutely, 100% sure. I think in all of my career with LADACIN and also as a nurse, this has been the first time where fear struck. Yes.
Were you ever scared about coming to work or working with people that were positive?
No, really. I'm no think I go God, I pray every day, I believe in God, and I know the clients need me.
Like, how many staff members were out? Like, almost everyone was out, and then 3 clients were sick here. So how much is it going to go through the whole house? What if we have an emergency? How are we going to handle that? How are families who normally see their children, how are they going to react to not seeing them as often, not being here? So just dealing with the family dynamics, and are we going to get sick, or are the clients going to get sick? It's always a thought, but it was never like, I'm not going to go to work because I might get sick. Just want to go to work because they need our help, and you want to help them. And that's why we signed up for this.
It was scary, but at the same time, it was comfortable because they're people just like we are. And I had to remind myself that, they're here for a purpose. And it showed me to be extra appreciative for life, because the whole time I was there with them, I feel like I was covered as well. We all got through this together, and it was like a walk that we all went through together. It wasn't just them. I feel like we all went through this together as individuals.
I figured if I didn't get it while we weren't protecting ourselves before COVID was made official, then I wasn't really worried about it. If I got it, then that would be different. That would be like, I would just work until I felt sick. But I was fine. I've been exposed to TB, to all different kinds of various diseases, flu, whatever. But you just handle it as it comes. You can't worry about that because they're more susceptible than we are. So it was really a thought.
And at this point, you've heard the symptoms that come with it, and people are dying. It's not like a common cold, you're gonna get better. For some, it is, but of course, we humans think the worst as soon as you hear something. And it's scary, but you have family too. So you being having fear at work for your staff is the same fear you would have if you were home with anyone coming from the outside. So the fear kind of hides when you know that you have to take care of clients. The same fear that you have when you have kids and you gotta go to the grocery store and feed them, get them food. You have to do it. So, I mean, you have it, but you can't really show it.
When I first got sick, I thought it was just like a 24-hour thing. And then actually it turned into a little bit longer. So after the 4th day, when I came back positive, then it made you think a lot more seriously, because before you got sick, you saw everything that was going on around and people that weren't making it and how bad it was. That's the first thing that was on my mind, was basically leaving my family and just hoping that everything turned around, which in time it did, which I thank God for.
Throughout this time where we quarantined at the Singer House, and during the time where the clients were displaying the symptoms the most, was a very scary time. We had probably several incidents where 911 would have probably been called and them taken to the hospital. We tried at every cost to keep them home safe rather than going to the hospital where we felt would endanger them even more. There was an incident where one of the individuals became very ill and we activated 911. When the EMTs arrived, they would not come through the door. Understandably so, we didn't want them to come through the door either. We got the individual outside, put her on a stretcher, and after a lot of thought and talking to the EMTs, it was decided that the best thing to do was to keep her home. That was really scary, because where she should have been in a hospital, we kept her home. Placed calls to the doctors. The doctors were able to FaceTime with me and give me the directions and give me the tools that I needed to keep the individual home and provide them the care that they needed medically at home. We were able to do that successfully and keep them out of the hospital. There were many of times where we had to use nursing skills with the direction of a doctor, where normally these things would probably have been taken care at the hospital. We changed feeding tubes here. We gave treatments, to the individuals that they needed. So it was pretty skilled at the time. When I say skilled, we needed the nurse inside, and thankfully so I had that under my belt. So I was confident enough to take the directions from the doctors and take charge. It was long hours, spent days, nights here with the other 5 individuals who volunteered their time to work alongside me. It was very emotional. We were pretty much on lockdown ourselves. We had to wear, astronaut suits. I had to not show the fear at the time, and be strong for the clients and specifically the staff as well, because it was not easy trying to get, staff to come work alongside individuals with COVID at the time. It was new, it was fresh, it was very scary. So in order to keep the morale up, I had to put on the front. In doing so, I was able to put aside some of those emotions and, put my best foot forward, and teach the staff that were working alongside me how to provide the services safely, and also universal precautions, how to gear up, how to ungear, how to sanitize, and pretty much keep them on a positive note that they would not contract COVID if they followed my lead.
As time went on, it was scary because at the time when it started, Corona was like a death sentence. So I said to Judy, we ain't losing anyone. I'm not going to lose anyone in this house because I have had loss in my life, and I can't, I wouldn't have been able, it wouldn't. So I declared it, and it was what it, and we just took every day, moment by moment, and we wore a lot of hats. I was a comedian. I'd walk in with my suited up. I'd say to Felicia, "Oh, hi, the alien's here," or, whatever, because I had this white suit on, or the astronaut, and she would laugh at me.
I think the whole time working with each other, we figured out each other's strengths, where what one person was stronger at. Like, for example, we had one that was good at cooking, that had that special gift, so he's like, all right, you can cook. And then we had the one person that know how to make the clients laugh, so that one person's like, all right, we do activities with them. And then we had another person that, that was like good with music. So, we was like, okay, play a song on the piano, or, we use our creative skills, and we just come together, Fat Five, and do what it takes to keep the clients going and keep ourselves going as well as a team.
We just did what we had to do. Like, everyone's real great to work with. Everyone, we just came together. We did our hours, whatever hours were needed, and we all filled in. We helped each other out. I never feel like I'm by myself here.
Nutritionally, I tried to give them like high vitamin C, oranges and greens and vegetables, because I knew that vitamins were really important. And we celebrated when we started. The families were so supportive and so kind. Susan's mom, our sister, brought in gift cards for us for ShopRite, and brought food in and made cupcakes, and we just celebrated that. And then the mom and me was like, okay, now we have to do thank you cards. So Mom and he would draw a picture, and everyone would sign it, and we sang a lot, cried a lot, laughed a lot, and we got through it. And Susan also, she's a diehard Nickelodeon fan, so she'd watch like Dennis the Menace or Little House on the Prairie, talk on the phone, and we just got through, And then, we took breaks. Rich and I were here from 8 to 4 every day, and he knew when I went back in the office, I just needed to like pray, or I have a 12 o'clock prayer line. I would get on that and ask for strength and go back in.
Was there ever a time when you felt tired?
Absolutely. Because when I first came here, it was pretty difficult, because we was doing more than one shift. But at the same time, I remember that my purpose was here is to take care of the clients and also just to make them feel comfortable. And this was an obstacle that we were always facing together and that we were always pulling through together.
And we communicated, we worked together. The key was to communicate,
It was a little hard in the beginning because we were here so often, but we knew we knew we had to come together as a group and do what we had to do to take care of the girls. So it wasn't a little stressful on my personal life, but nothing that I haven't been through. Well, we haven't been through COVID before, but just nothing that was that we all couldn't handle.
I feel like the situation that happened, I think, was an extra drive, an extra push just to help me come here and just to be wanting to take care of the clients and to take care of ourselves as well.
you work like, say you work a double shift, and then you go home for whatever. It takes me 40 minutes to get home, and then by the time I unwind and go to bed and get back up, so I'm on like between 4 and 6 hours of sleep, then come back and do another double, and do the same thing. Couple, weeks into it, and someone else got sick, and then someone else got sick, and then we had 3 positives in the house. So it was a little trying, but it wasn't bad because everyone here is really good to work with. So we just came together as a team.
Rich and I were very cognizant of having everything prepared for when 4 o'clock came. So I wanted to make sure dinner was done, the laundry, or at least dinner was in the oven, so that they could come in and take care of and nurture the clients.
It was scary, but at the same time, I've had this kind of assurance like everything was going to be okay. As long as we practiced safety and we took care of each other and look out for one another, and I think that played a big part. Looking out for one another. Like if you seen somebody that was like, that was just about to do something, it's always like good to remind each other like, let's do this and let's do this the right way. And also just being an extra eye for somebody.
It never hit me to get tired because I knew I needed to come to work and keep going. Same thing with coming home. If I have to come home, I'm not going to be tired because I came to work. You have to keep going, and it's eventually, the good thing about it is it's going to be over soon. And you just got to keep reminding it's not going to last forever. It'll be over. I mean, it lasted more than we thought, but those 2 weeks, extremely working, coming back, going home, and coming back to work as soon as you left, and then you have to be back because, I mean, it was nobody else coming. You had to do it. You can't stop.
It's tired, but I need help. I know I need help. I'm scared because take to my family, but I really need help, and I stay strong.
It must have been hard for the clients to stay in their rooms. How did they cope?
It was very hard for the clients. It was a trying, challenging time for them. Imagine being behind closed doors for 15 days without coming out. They could not come out. We would go in, provide them a service, and come back out. So of those 15 days, they spent 24 hours inside their bedrooms behind a closed door. As we would probably be able to handle it with some frustration, it was very difficult for them to understand what was going on and why we closed them behind doors.
I don't know why. I don't like it.
You didn't like it?
No, I don't. I miss so people, my friends and my teachers, everybody. I miss the nurses, everybody. I miss everybody. Sherry, my boss, everybody. I miss everybody.
It wasn't that bad. It was a little confusing at first, but then I got used to it.
Were you ever scared?
No. Sometimes, yeah. Yeah. Pretty much. I couldn't talk to anybody right now, so.
It was devastating. I mean, it was like, because this is a social group, very social, and when those doors had to close and they weren't able to talk to one another, it was heartbreaking. It was like, oh my, it was just a change in the environment. Yeah, that was a sad day when Judy said the doors had to close.
I think it was harder on them because they had to spend all their time in their room where they're a communal group and they're used to seeing each other and being with each other and being with the TV and interacting with us. And I think they felt more isolated. So I think it was harder on them than on us because we could go in the house and go in the rooms and they couldn't. So for them not to see their housemates for that long a time was, I think, and their families was hard. It was hard on them. They didn't understand. They have a certain level of understanding, but we just reassured them that things were okay, and we tried to occupy them without spending too much time in their individual rooms?
Well, the hardest part was them trying to stay in the room and understand that we can't be as social as we are normal days, where we come out here, we go outside, we do as much activities as we can, we go out on the bus, and we weren't allowed to do that. And we had to let them know that it was not us just saying, no, we're not doing that today. We had to let them know every single time, look, remind them, I'm sorry, we can't do this, we can't do that, and then just sit there like, but we want to go outside, we want to do this. And that was the hardest part, having them, maybe they felt secluded from us, and they were like, what are they doing to us? Why are they keeping us in the room? Maybe after the 2 weeks were over, they understood, oh, it was that. It is a problem. They saw it on TV. They saw it with their family members, that they heard they can't do this, they can't go to work. But having them maybe understand was the hardest part.
But it was going to get, we knew it was going to get better, you know, that it would be, you know, eventually that they slowly but surely that we could open the doors. And, you know, and just watching some of them, they weren't well. I mean, they weren't themselves. They weren't the cheerful, normally happy-go-lucky ladies. So,
as much as we worked hard to take care of them, we also worked hard to keep them emotionally sane.
Well, I find LADACIN to be very supportive. The people here we're team players. We work together for one goal, and to give comfort and to make our clients happy and to fulfill their needs and every wish that they have.
The support was incredible from the team at LADACIN, from our executive director to our associate executive director, to staff from the day programs. Yeah, we had a lot of support. Supplies were always there for us. Anything I asked for was given to me. Celeste was, you know, working from home, however, it felt like she was at my side at all times, providing me everything that I needed to get through this time.
Everything is perfect, like support to everything in the house. Food, protect, like mask, gloves, everything. It's good.
And we had all the protective equipment that we needed. We had N95 masks, we had the full body suits, we had, you know, gloves, we had sanitizing supplies. So we were pretty equipped for this time.
I've seen Judy around Lehman, but I didn't know who she was. And then meeting her and dealing with her, you know, when you go off of someone's, you know, I didn't know who she was. So when I started working here, like, she's very cares for the clients very much, cares for us. Always had an open ear. Was always constantly here. I know when she went home and slept, she was always here. You know, just a great leader.
The way she talks, it's the way she acts. Very calm. Like, we're gonna fix it, we're gonna work through it, and we'll be fine.
Judy was a phenomenal leader. Not only she was a leader helping us day in and day out, she actually used her LPN skills to not only make sure that we were safe, but the clients and as well as anybody that was around us.
Oh, Judy was our fearless leader. I mean, she came in and she instructed us on how to prevent getting the virus. We suited up. She demonstrated how to suit up, how to wear the gloves, how to put the masks on, how to clean, you know, after you were done, how to, well, disinfect.
She was amazing. She checked up on me mostly every day, made sure I came back when I did, and she was very helpful, yeah.
Basically, we called each other every day. I kept her in contact with how I was doing, and then she called me just to see how I was doing, seeing how the family was doing. And Yeah, everything was good. She really good.
She's wonderful. She's stay here all the time for everybody needs. She's there.
And there's times when she was here like day in and day out. When I say 24 hours, like she would stay here just to make sure that like if one person didn't know how to do something, she would stay there and show us more than 1 time, 2 times, 3 times. And she didn't let us leave until we felt safe and we were secure with every task that we had to do. And she also like even like took time out of her own schedule and went more than an extra mile just to make sure that everything was secured and no one was like didn't feel like they couldn't do anything.
She was here working, showing us how it's gonna be, and it wasn't just a phone call where, oh look, you have to do this, you have to do that, because I don't know, a lot of phone calls are not understood. People might mistake a word for another one, and it's better to see the person actually showing you hands-on, physically being here, and that's what she did.
She provide everything the staff and the clients need. She's wonderful.
You know, we cried together, we laughed together, and we got it done together. We got the work done together. So she's my hero. I mean, I have a special place for her in my heart.
So we monitored their symptoms very closely, along with the doctor. The doctor came out to see them. We focused on the 14-day quarantine and just making sure that their symptoms did not worsen. They started to come around. You could see the change in their faces, in their activity level. We were able to identify when it was time. And sure enough, it was, before the 14 days, I would say around day 8 and 9, they started to come around, and it was almost like, wow, thank goodness, symptoms didn't worsen. Instead, they got better. So day 14, we could have taken them out then, but we wanted to make sure that we were clear. So we had the doctor come in, and he examined all of them and agreed that, they were free from COVID. It was the most exciting day of all of our lives in here. Families, the clients, they didn't know, we surprised them. So when we opened those doors and we said, you can come out, you could imagine, the wails of happiness that came from behind those doors.
It felt pretty good.
I was so happy.
We went outside. We had, a whole load of people cheering us on, and it was a very, it was just a very happy day for us.
That was a celebration. It was like, yeah, and slowly we could bring them in and have them eat at the table, 2 at a time. We like, you have to celebrate the little steps that came upon. It was like a celebration when Felicia wanted to eat and when she wanted to get up and use the bathroom. It was like, yes, let's do this. The little things.
It's a relief that things are coming back to normality eventually, but little by little. It felt good that they could finally come out. And it's always for them, because we come in and we go home and we come back and we smell the air. We can see their windows are closed. Like, we try to open the windows, but them coming out and actually seeing again, they're like, oh, nice. And then they go on to the next step. What are we doing next? But it's slowly, and they were happy.
Well, yes, after about 2 weeks of just talking on the phone, and we did do a window visit, which was a first for us. And when Suzanne was able to come out, be outside, and we had our little drive-by in the front, and we saw everybody nice and healthy and strong. It was a really, really wonderful day. And you could hear in Suzanne's voice, the doors were open. She was, able to come back out into the dining room and do all the things that she's used to doing. So it was a wonderful day.
And then eventually when we had the parade and Susan declared she loved being out here, because she likes to stay out in her room. She really does. And she said, I'm not going back in my room. She was so happy.
We had a drive-by birthday for one of the girls who had a birthday party, so that was fun. We tried to make things when they came out of the rooms like a big deal. You know what I'm saying? Like, we watch a movie as like a family group, but keep them socially separated.
Oh, so happy, so fun, because like it's in jail and everybody out, so I'm so happy.
The only point that I think is so important for people to understand is just how much the staff do here. Like, that they're just jacks of all trade, and how few people take care of so many things. They are cooks, they're cleaners, they're comedians, they make beds, they wash clothes, they help my sister do pretty much everything that you or I might take for granted every day. Putting on your socks, brushing your teeth, and the list goes on and on and on. I think that is so important, and when I read about DSP wages and different things that I just can't, I want to get that voice to the governor and say, listen, do you really know what people do every day? So we can put that one in there.
This was a really trying time. Again, I think I mentioned before, of my career, I've never faced something like this before. In the midst of it all, I have 5 staff who stepped up to the plate. Richard Hudson, David, Ariani, Maria, and Karen. These 5 individuals poured their heart out in here and never let up. I have to say that I have the utmost respect for them. I could not have done it without them. We could not have done it without them. Emotions ran really high. We cried, we laughed, and I know they were scared. There was a lot of fear going on. However, they trusted in me, and I just can't say enough about them. They really are heroes. I have to say, I will never, ever forget this time of my life. People don't understand, like, right now life is moving along, but when this happened in the very beginning, there were no words to express how intense it was. I'm sitting here and just telling a little bit of the story, but there was so much more that went along with it. We became pretty close during this time. It was rough, but we got through it, and thanks to them, and thanks to all the support that we got from LADACIN and families, we were able to get through this really difficult time. COVID, we beat you.